Throughout the history of the Catholic Church, many popes have left their mark with great deeds and decisions that shaped the course of Christianity. Some, even with short pontificates, left a spiritual, doctrinal, and even cultural legacy that has endured for centuries. One such figure is Pope Leo II, who held the See of Peter from 682 to 683, a name often forgotten, but deeply relevant for those who seek to understand the foundations of faith and ecclesiastical history. In this video, we'll explore the life and legacy of Leo II, a 7th-century pontiff, sharing little-known historical facts and curiosities, all authentic and based on reliable sources, including records from the Church itself. This content was prepared with responsibility and respect, not only for the faith but also for history. Before we begin, if you value serious content about faith and history, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. And of course, share it with anyone who loves to learn about the Church and its roots. Let's take this journey together. Here are 10 fascinating facts about Pope Leo II. 10. A cultured and multilingual pope, a bridge between East and West. Leo II was born in Sicily around the year 611, at a time when the island was still an important cultural bridge between the Byzantine Empire and the Latin world. The son of a physician named Paul, Leo had access to a rare education for his time. He spoke both Greek and Latin fluently, an incredibly valuable skill considering that Christianity was still divided between Eastern and Western traditions. This fluency allowed him to act as a true theological mediator during times of doctrinal dispute. Before being elected pope, Leo served as almoner of the Church of Rome, meaning he was in charge of distributing church resources to the poor, a position of high trust and pastoral sensitivity. In addition, Leo was deeply involved in liturgical music, showing himself not just as a spiritual leader, but as a man of culture and aesthetic sensibility. He believed that the beauty of liturgy was also a form of evangelization, an idea far ahead of his time. 9. A short pontificate that echoed through history. Leo II was elected pope on August 17, 682, but his consecration only took place on September 28 of that same year. This delay reveals something curious. At the time, the appointment of a new pope required confirmation by the Byzantine emperor, who still had considerable influence over Rome. This shows how intertwined imperial politics and the Church were. Unfortunately, his pontificate was very short, lasting less than a year. Leo passed away on July 3, 683, at just over 70 years of age. But brevity did not mean insignificance. In just a few months, he ratified crucial decisions, firmly defended the orthodoxy of the faith, and initiated liturgical practices that are still part of Catholic life today. It's proof that the greatness of a pope is not defined by the length of his reign, but by the clarity of his actions and the depth of his legacy. 8. Guardian of orthodoxy, combating monothelitism. One of the most defining moments of his pontificate was his confirmation of the decrees of the Third Council of Constantinople, held in 681, which condemned the heresy known as monothelitism, a doctrine claiming that Jesus Christ had only one will, the divine one, thereby denying the existence of a human will. Leo II not only supported the council's decision, but also explicitly condemned Pope Honorius I, who had gravely failed by not opposing this doctrinal error. This was an extremely courageous act, a pope censuring a predecessor and publicly acknowledging responsibility and omission. Leo II made it clear that silence in the face of error is also a form of betrayal of the truth. His stance reinforced the idea that church leaders are servants of truth, not its owners, a principle that still echoes in today's internal faith debates. 7. Liturgical music as an expression of faith. Few people know that Leo II was passionate about liturgical music. He had musical training and promoted the organization and improvement of sacred chants, especially in the Roman Rite. He revised and enriched parts of the so-called Gregorian sacramentary, which contained prayers and chants used in the celebration of the Mass. His goal was simple yet profound: to lead the faithful to God through the beauty of sound. For Leo, sacred music was not mere ornamentation, it was a true means of spiritual elevation. He believed the liturgy should touch the heart, not just the mind. 6. The introduction of holy water sprinkling. Another lasting legacy of Leo II was the formal introduction of sprinkling with holy water as a preparatory rite in liturgical celebrations. The practice already existed informally, but he was the one who systematized and officially established it. Holy water symbolizes purification, rebirth, and protection from evil. By instituting it as part of the liturgical routine, Leo II helped transform an old custom into a sacramental expression of Christian faith, accessible and understandable even to the simplest of believers. That's why, even today, millions of Catholics touch holy water and make the sign of the cross when entering a church, a gesture of faith that, in part, owes its presence to Pope Leo II. If this content is broadening your understanding of the legacy behind the name Leo throughout the centuries, give it a like and leave a comment. Your engagement is key to helping us keep bringing valuable insights. 5. Restorer of faith through art, the Church of Saint Bibiana. During his short pontificate, Leo II ordered the restoration of the Church of Saint Bibiana, one of the oldest churches in Rome. But the gesture went far beyond architecture. Leo wanted to provide a dignified home for the relics of the martyrs Simplicius, Faustinus, and Beatrix. By restoring the church, he was not only preserving a sacred building, but also reaffirming the value of Christian memory and the veneration of relics, practices deeply rooted in Catholic devotion. This act was seen at the time as a symbol of respect for the saints and martyrs, and also as a way to protect Christian identity during an era of heresies and instability. 4. Upholding Rome's authority, confronting the Bishop of Ravenna. Another remarkable aspect of Leo II's brief papacy was his firmness in the face of political and ecclesiastical pressure. A clear example was his stance on the Archdiocese of Ravenna, which was attempting to gain independence from the authority of Rome. Leo reaffirmed the Pope's primacy over all Western dioceses, ruling that the Bishop of Ravenna could only be appointed with Rome's approval, and that he must swear an oath of obedience to the pontiff. This decision not only strengthened papal authority but also prevented the Church from fragmenting amid the political chaos of the time, a true game of ecclesiastical chess. 3. Promoter of devotion to Saint Sebastian and Saint George. Leo II also strongly promoted the veneration of Saint Sebastian and Saint George, two martyrs who became symbols of Christian resilience in the face of persecution. He saw in these saints a source of inspiration for the Christian people of his time, who were facing not only external oppression but also internal divisions. He encouraged community prayers asking for protection through the intercession of these saints, a tradition that spread worldwide and continues to this day. It was also a way to show that the strength of faith is rooted in the example of the martyrs, not just in words. 2. Recognized as a saint, a lasting legacy. Saint Leo II was canonized by the Church and is venerated as a saint. His feast day is celebrated on July 3rd, the date of his death. Though rarely remembered among the most popular saints, he is considered a model of humility, doctrinal clarity, and pastoral dedication. His sainthood was not based on extraordinary miracles, but rather on his faithfulness to the mission entrusted to him. That makes him all the more relatable, an ordinary man, with both human and spiritual virtues, who placed his gifts at the service of the Church, even amid great challenges. 1. An eclipse and a legend, a sign from heaven? According to ancient tradition, on the night of Leo II's death, a lunar eclipse occurred that lasted for many hours. Although this is not confirmed by precise astronomical records from the time, the phenomenon was interpreted by many as a divine sign, a kind of heavenly morning. In Christian symbolism, a darkened moon often represents grief, the silence of God, or even the transition from troubled times to new light. Whether legend or historical truth, the story helped create a sense of reverence around his legacy. Pope Leo II may not be a household name. He wasn't one of the great reformers, nor did he live during the era of grand cathedrals or modern councils. But his life teaches us that faithfulness, doctrinal clarity, and a love for the beauty of faith don't require fame or long years of power. With his sharp mind, pastoral heart, and love for liturgy, Leo II left a trail of light, one that continues to inspire quietly, like a sacred chant echoing through the centuries. If this video helped you better understand the history of the Church and its nearly forgotten figures, don't forget to share it. The history of faith needs to be told, with truth, with beauty, and with courage. We'll see you in the next video, with the curiosities of Pope Leo III.